Thank you. Good morning, young fellas. Well, I'm going to talk fast, and I hope that we have some time to answer some questions. Sorry, but I'm always running. I got a meeting after here. So, as she say, my name is Fernando Thompson. Number 2. My name is Fernando Thompson. I'm not only a professional. I have family. I have some hobbies. And if you have any question and we don't have time to answer it, you can find me on social media. And I promise you to dedicate your time, okay? For me, the most important thing are the students. So let's talk about artificial intelligence, okay? This is the issue. Reality is that there is no such thing as artificial intelligence as Hollywood tried to show, okay? It's very, very different. So let's talk what it is really, artificial intelligence. And basically, as the definition says, it's an extension of the capabilities of the human being. And also, they have also the capability to learning and eventually by themselves. Okay, that's what it is exactly, artificial intelligence. But the thing is that artificial intelligence is not something that is going to affect to you guys and the rest of the world in the future. It's affecting you right now. Artificial intelligence is happening right now. Where? So this is not science fiction. At the end, it's happening. So let's talk about jobs that didn't exist 10 years ago and now they exist thanks to technology. No? For instance, social media manager, app developer, big data analyst, cybersecurity manager. Those jobs didn't exist 10 years ago. These new jobs exist thanks to technology. So not all is bad news. Why? Because artificial intelligence right now, for instance, is currently being used on those jobs. So for instance, voice to text features, smart personal assistants, smart devices. Have you ever seen a big commercial in Periférico that come to work to this place and actually it's a call center, okay? Eventually they are going to need nobody because actually are going to be robots with human voices like yours attending people. And those robots are going to be smart because they can distinguish for instance, the enthusiasm or not from the customer in the other side of the line. And they have more arguments because they have a database. And they never get tired. They never go on a strike. They can work 24/7, okay? Also, you can find it, for instance, for personal news and fees, security surveillance, fraud detection and prevention for online transactions. And for instance, have you ever received a phone call from someone telling you that someone was using your credit card or your debit card? Eventually, you're going to receive some of those telephone calls, and actually a robot is behind that, okay? So this is a list just of the jobs that artificial intelligence is using, right now is using artificial intelligence for all these kind of activities. And eventually, the list is going to grow. So, why does artificial intelligence scare so much to us? First, by automatization, 40% of the current jobs in the next 15 years are going to disappear, of the current jobs. Like which one? In the next 5 years, this is what I predict. Telemarketing, as I explained to you before, drivers, bookkeeping, receptionists, courier, proofreaders, advertising salespeople, and retail salespeople. Retail, I'm talking about millions. People that are working right now on Walmart or in Chedraui, all those people are going to disappear. In the next 10 years, lawyers, yes, lawyers. Soldiers, babysitters, sport writers, healthcare workers, computer support specialists, market research analysts. Yes, soldiers. Can you imagine that? Why? Because eventually, no, the armies are going to be basically, it's going to be a union between the robots and artificial intelligence. But also, and this is the good news, and eventually I have a homework for you, okay, for my lawyers in international relations. Okay, artificial intelligence are going to create millions of new jobs, okay? New jobs are going to be created, so not everything is bad news. But you need to be prepared for these new jobs. 2 weeks ago, I read the news in the USA Today that actually some employees of Amazon was very mad and they was going on a strike. It's the first time in the United States that a company has employees really mad about artificial intelligence. What happened? Amazon right now is using a lot of artificial intelligence. After what the strike happened, Amazon, Jeff Bezos, the chief executive officer, he decided to invest $700 million just for training his employees in new skills. And I'm going to discuss with you those new skills. If you have those new skills, you are not going to have troubles in the future, but you need to develop those new skills, okay? 700 million, guys, in pesos is like 14 billion of pesos, okay? So there is not going to be so much companies that are going to make that kind of investments, okay? In order to keep the employees. Amazon is a separate case. So this is what I think what is going to happen. And I think that this is the most important slide in the presentation, okay? So artificial intelligence is here, okay? So first, I'm sorry for the diagram. I'm an engineer, okay? Lost jobs with artificial intelligence. So eventually, we're going to need tech suppliers and new industries. So new jobs are going to be needed. Which one? I don't know yet. Maybe it's going to be cybersecurity engineers or something like that. And actually, programming engineers are going to disappear. Why? Because now you hear that eventually artificial intelligence is going to make their own algorithm, no? And they're going to make their own language and they're going to be faster. But in security, we're going to need people that need to be training with technical skills in order to protect, no, the robots and the facilities. That's an example. Or suppose that eventually, you know, with artificial intelligence, we're going to improve the productivity. Yes. Why? Because the robots, they never get tired. So they can produce and produce and produce. And you must be wondering right now, yes, but if they produce and we don't have jobs, who is going to buy those products or those services? Okay? Of course, that they're going to be more productive. But at the end, we're going to find a solution. Always. Always we're going to find a solution. But just for those that are prepared. Okay? So, eventually, with the higher productivity, it's going to expand. If this economy is going to expand, eventually, we are going to create new kind of jobs. Okay? And this is where I need you. Okay? You need to raise your voice because actually, we don't have laws, not even in the worldwide sense or not in the national sense, that applies rules over artificial intelligence. And what could happen if we don't apply those rules? Eventually, those companies can arrive, for instance, to Mexico, and they are free to do anything. But if we have rules to protect, for instance, let's put a tax. You can use artificial intelligence, but if you are going to fire a specific number of employees, then you need to pay a fine or higher taxes. And with those taxes, you can give a supplement of money to the rest of the population that was fired. I don't know. Something like that. We need to figure out, okay? But also, if they decrease the prices and we buy more, no, and we buy other things, then eventually we're gonna get new jobs. So, which kind of jobs? Well, actually, you need to create those jobs. Those jobs need to be created by you, okay? Are not going to come from, it's going to be very difficult that is going to come from a mind of an engineer. So that's why we need you, okay? So Which skills, guys, are you going to need when eventually, no, when you become a graduate, okay? When you become a graduate, and it doesn't matter that, for instance, if your father is rich right now, the economy is going to change. So start to work, guys, to develop these skills. The first one, mental elasticity. Oh yes, you need to read, and read a lot, okay? And don't read only what your teacher is telling you to read. You need to read many kind of everything, okay? Also, you need to develop at least the skill to speak 3 languages, at least, okay? At least. Complex problem solving, critical thinking, judgment and decision making, creative and innovative mindset, people skills, no? A robot, for instance, as a teacher, if I see that, for instance, you have a red eye, no? Because you have a problem with your girlfriend or something like that, a robot cannot detect that kind of thing. But me as a human, of course, no? And I have to be empathic with him because I was in his position once, no? And I can understand. Or for instance, you feel sick, and a robot don't care if you are sick or not. Did you accomplish the homework, yes or not? Okay, some of the teachers act like a robot, but in most cases, you know, you're going to find certain feeling or human sense from some of us, no? Emotional and social intelligence. Emotional and social intelligence, guys, don't give by default that all of us have the social skills. You need to develop those skills, okay? For instance, in this university, you need to use your network. Use the network. Eventually, some of you here are going to be in main positions on the government and also in the private sector, okay? So develop those skills. You need to build a network right now. No, start to doing that right now, okay? And also interdisciplinary knowledge. As I told you before, you need to read and read a lot, okay? How much? My advice, at least 1 book per month. At least, okay? It's like going to the gym. If you don't read, you are not going to exercise this muscle. And eventually, an artificial intelligence muscle is going to replace you. So, you're not aware, okay? You are aware of this. So, artificial intelligence will drastically alter our jobs. Any kind of job that can be automated or optimized or decision support is going to disappear. Yes. So, what is going to happen, for instance, with Puebla, with Volkswagen, and with Audi? I have been once in the factory of Audi. Have you any one of you ever been in Audi in the factory? No? Okay. Yes. Who? Okay. What do you notice there?
Well, I only watched these robots.
Do you see any human working there with the robots?
Only supervising, but not really doing hard work.
Like 16 people, and that's it. Like 16 people supervising, that's it. Okay. In that factory, 15 years ago, you would need something like 4,000 people working there on the lines. And now there was only 16 of them. And eventually that's going to happen with Volkswagen, with Ford, and everything. And also with the suppliers of them. So, if you are going to have, for instance, a business to bring robots from China or from India, that's going to be a good business. It's going to be a really good business. No? Next. So, if you want to take a photograph of this, because basically this is where I explain where humanity in the next 3 to 4 years is going to move, okay? In this case, for instance, here we're going to find activities that only can be led by humans, okay? It's going to be almost impossible that artificial intelligence can lead or empathize or create or judge, okay? It's going to be real tough. But in the other side, you will find activities, this is like clear water for artificial intelligence. transactions, interact, predict, and adapt. They can adapt faster than us. But in the middle, we can find some activities where machines and humans are going to be interfaced. What I think is going to happen, and yes, this is going to happen, is like we're going to have superpowers, like a super human beings, okay? What is going to happen in the future, for instance, is that if you have a kidney disease or something, instead of waiting for a donation of this kidney, what is going to happen is that it's going to be printed on a 3D printer machine with human cells, and actually it's going to be from your own human cells with your own blood, so it's going to be 100% compatible. And you can choose if you want it from Yamaha or from Siemens or from, I don't know, Sony. You can choose your kidney, no? So with that, we're going to live longer. So you're going to have some prostheses with artificial intelligence. But not only you're going to live longer, because you can say, if we live longer, Fernando, what about my mind? Don't worry, because you're going to drink some nanobots that actually is going to get into your brain and actually is going to make the connection between the dendritas that we have in our brain in order to make those connections, and you always are going to be like a young guy with all your mind and with all your thoughts and with all the speed that you have right now. So yes, we are destined to interface with the technology. That's something that we cannot avoid. I think that we are running to that path, and we are running very, very, very fast. Sorry guys, if you cannot see in the back, let me explain to you, but basically in the first ring is all the applications that artificial intelligence is going to be applied, okay? Or right now, they are applying right now. For instance, intelligent automation, recommendation systems, biometrics and facial and gesture recognition. Like for instance, if you go to a physician and you have, for instance, a change of your entire face, and this guy is a drug dealer, and he tries to go into Europe, they're going to get him. Why? Because they have artificial intelligence algorithms that can recognize the biometric distance between, for instance, your foreeye and your eyes or your nose, because this is a matrix, no? Like Michael Jackson, no? Michael Jackson, he was Afro-American, and they was rare boy, white boy, or something like that. Doesn't matter. He has the same distance he used to have the same distance between the nose and the eyes and the ears. So by means of that, they can get immediately to the people that they're searching for. So that's what they're using right now, no? In order to combat the terrorists. In the middle ring, artificial intelligence capabilities, natural language understanding, speech to text, expert systems, speech and optimization, and in the middle, machine learning. Machine learning is different from artificial intelligence. Machine learning, basically, what they do is that for instance, they supervise systems, and they learn with time. For instance, here at the university, we're using right now machine learning in cybersecurity. I only have one engineer working, a human working, but actually we protect to the university like if we're 60 of 80 of us, thanks to the robot that we are using. The name of the robot is Dartrace, and it's based on machine learning. And Dartrace is running in the entire network of the university. And it's protecting the students, it's protecting the teachers, and also the employees. The university receives at least like 1,000 to 2,000 of intents of attacks daily, from the inside and the outside, okay? And he can stop many of them. And he gives us information and, listen, I think that this student is something really weird, so can you watch them? And he sent a message to my engineer, and he dedicates time to review 10 or 12 cases, but the rest, 1,000 of the cases, are attended by the robot. So we have some ethical issues in artificial intelligence. automated cars, no? If you don't need, for instance, a human driving, and it's going to be a robot, and eventually this robot finds that he's going to have an accident, no, or a crash in front of a kid or in front of a old lady, he needs to choose. And a robot is going to work very fast by an algorithm, and he's going to say, the lady has less opportunities to still, to still being alive than the kid. So he's going to crash against the old lady. But suppose that you have a robot, this is in 10 or 15 years, you have 2 kids, they have to go to school, you put it into your car, the car is programmed to go to the school with the kids, and eventually he's going to have an accident, for instance, with a school bus. In the school bus, the robot is going to make the calculations like 25 kids are on the bus. I only have 2 here. I can kill 25 or I can kill 2. So he's going to drop away from the path with your kids. If you was driving that car, you're going to do everything to save your kids because it's your self-instinct. No? First your family, first you, but not a robot. So that's a paradox. Or for instance, talking about ethical, can you imagine a robot that I send it to the world? And I'm going to say by a program or an algorithm that if they have brown skin, you can kill them. It doesn't matter that they're kids or they are females or they're pregnant. That kind of robot is not going to stop. But guess what? That robot can be hacked. And they can use against the owners, the country owner of the robot. That can happen also, no? So we have to think these ethical rules. And these ethical rules need to be made from people like you, no one else, with an international point of view of what is going to happen. Okay? What is going to happen? Because this is going very fast. Listen, technology is not going at the speed of the regular science. Okay? Technology is going faster. Usually what I used to say is that the rest of the science, they move fast, but at normal speed. But in this case, technology moves at exponential speed. So, to give an example, exponential speed means that, for instance, if to make a discovery usually used to take from 3 to 5 years in the normal science, in technology only take from 2 to 10 hours. That's the difference. That's the difference. And that's the speed that we are moving right now. There is a war happening right now between China and the United States for the artificial intelligence and 5G. Why? Because the country that can control or has the most advanced power in artificial intelligence is going to be the most dominating nation worldwide. So that's why you are hearing right now that they have commercial conflicts and Huawei conflicts and stuff like that, but no. Behind all those scenarios, no, is the artificial intelligence issue. No doubt. No doubt about it. So, what happens at the end of some jobs? And these are the questions that I want to ask you guys, no? Think about how can we distribute, no, all the money that is going to come from this new technology. Do you have a guess? Please?
To the owner, because it's capitalism.
Sadly. So, and what we can do about that in order that not only few people
can
can.
Make it a socialist economy.
Yes, definitely. No, we have to be. I know it's going to be tough, but we have to think about more equally. No, for instance, right now Donald Trump, no, is saying that he's going to bring the jobs from all the maquiladoras and stuff like that to the United States. That is not going to happen, because if he wants to bring, for instance, Foxconn is the company that make the brain of your iPhone, no, it's the CPU. They use machine learning and robots. So yes, he's going to create new 5 jobs for the United States. He has Foxconn on the United States, 5 new jobs. That's it. That's it. So yes, they have to think how they're going to distribute that kind of money. Have you ever heard who's Elon Musk? Yes. Okay. This guy is like a Tony Stark, but in real life. He is. He really is. And he has so many ideas of how we need to control artificial intelligence, because what he says that if we leave it without control, it's going to run out of our hands. So we need to put control in artificial intelligence. We need to build laws, procedures, policies. Otherwise, the control is not, we're talking right now about China and about the United States. But eventually, guys, it's not going to be China. It's going to be something call it Tencent, or call it Alibaba, call it Huawei. And from the United States side, it's going to be something called Amazon, something called Facebook, something called Microsoft or Apple. Yes, the world are going to be controlled by those companies, because they have all our information, and also they have the technology. They know who we are. They can know. They can have the power to know if we are going to develop, for instance, a disease in the future. Why? Because they have our behavior. They know if we make exercise or not, how much, how many calories we consume during the day or not, where we are, how much alcohol we drink. They have all the information about us. And we don't have even the faintest idea that they have all this information. Why? Because you are with a smartphone with you all the time, and they can measure all that. And they can hear you. Yes? They can hear you, no? And they use that information in order to sell you the kind of clothes that you want, or the kind of trip that you want, or something like that, no? But eventually, they can use that information. If you want to apply for a job, they're going to say, no, don't hire that guy. He spent too much time, wasting time, or he used to be a bullying in the college or stuff like that, or he's very lazy, because they have information from you that you don't know. Another question about humanity. How do machines affect our behavior and interaction? Can you imagine, once that you have a robot, how it's going to change to us? How is it going to change to us? For instance, I have a maid in my house, no? Maria. And she has been working with us for at least for the next 10 years. But last time that I went to Silicon Valley, I bought a robot that on the floor, no? And all the time. And if you go into my house, you're going to see a robot that is cleaning the floor all the time. So Maria was fascinated the first time, no? And she said, well, I have some help, at least with the floor. She needs to, she still needs to make some activities like cook or with the clothes and stuff like that. But eventually, they're going to sell another robot that is going to, for instance, to give you the food or to clean your clothes or stuff like that. So also those kind of activities eventually can disappear. No? And it was very cheap. The robot only cost me $200. Very, very cheap. No? It's a tiny robot. Question to you guys. Please raise your hands. Should artificial intelligence systems be killed? Raise your hands if you agree with this. I'm interested. Why?
Because you said before that artificial intelligence will replace soldiers. So they will be able to kill. Even if they are hard, as you said, we will need soldiers to replace human workforce.
I like your answer. Because, for instance, in Mexico, suppose that I can bring 10 robots with artificial intelligence. those robots cannot be affected by corruption. So if I put in a program, go and find these drug dealers, no, or go against this guy that make ransom and kill against some people, and I give the list and I give, the faces, they are going to chase these people, no, until they kill them. They can do the job. They can do the job for us. So, in your point, yes, that is going to happen, but we should leave to all these robots, no, be controlled by someone, and eventually, what about if they decide to kill a population that is against them because they are not agree with the political party that he represents or something like that? No? That could happen. No? That could happen. Technology is not good or is not bad. Actually, it's neutral. Always is neutral. Artificial intelligence is a game changer, but do you think that you are ready? Raise your hands, those of you that think that they are ready for artificial intelligence right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Are you ready? You was the first that raised your hand. Why? Why are you ready? Tell me.
Because I know how to program and I'm good. So I don't think my risk of being replaced by software.
And you?
I think we can learn to work with artificial intelligence. So we can implement this work by working with artificial intelligence, not by taking our jobs.
Yes, please remember, guys, to develop the skills that I showed to you. That's the most important thing. Start to working on it, okay? And actually, you are in charge of international relations, so you need something about laws. You can use your mind, you can use your sense. So we're going to need people like you building those laws and raising your voice. That is very, very important, no? And you start to thinking right now since today, because you don't need to wait to see a robot here or eventually to hear that Volkswagen is going out of Puebla because they're going to concentrate everything in Germany with the robots or stuff like that. We need to have a plan right now and work on it. Sadly, we didn't hear nothing in this administration regarding to work with these kind of things. Mexico should have a strategy to choose, maybe not artificial intelligence, because that trend was like 10 years ago taken by the United States and China. But what about Internet of Things? Or what about big data? Or what about virtual reality? Or what about augmented reality? But as a country, yes, we need to develop at least one technology. And government, private sector, and universities should work together in that priority. But we need to choose one. Well, what time is it? 20? 10? Okay. So this is where you can find me. I know that maybe you can have some questions, or maybe you want to be in contact with me, no? I dedicate too much time to my students. I help to some of you that was trying to be entrepreneurs. Actually, I'm an Endeavor. Have you heard about Endeavor? No? Endeavor is an organization that helps to startups in order to launch their business. And I'm a mentor from the technology side for Endeavor Mexico. Okay? But also, as students of the university, when you have any kind of doubt or something, I have a very complicated agenda, but if I have time, I'm going to give to you the time that you need, okay? Think about this, guys. It's very complicated. I think that is in a very short period of time, I cannot share with you all the implications of artificial intelligence, but this is where we're going. This is where we're going, and we need to do something. For me, it was very important to share with you this because you are our future. And eventually, when you became ambassadors, or one of you representative at the United Nations, or one of you became governor of the state or president of the country, no? You need to have a strategy with this because we cannot stop this. No, and this is if we don't have a strategy, someone is going to build the strategy of our country. No, thank you very much. Thank you, Lamun.
On behalf of La Mun 32 and the Dean of Social Sciences, a letter of recognition. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you, guys.